What Joe Flacco is currently doing in Cleveland is truly remarkable. He's currently the oldest quarterback playing football. At age 38, he's seeing a resurgence and is battling his team into the playoffs. In his third start for the Browns this season, Flacco threw for 374 yards and 2 touchdown passes. 212 yards and 1 of his touchdowns came in the fourth quarter as his team overcame a 10-point deficit to eventually win the game by 3. Now, in what's been a beyond wacky season in Cleveland, the team sits with a 9-5 record and are poised to make the playoffs. The team's defensive leader, Myles Garrett, said, "Who could have wrote this story?" Cleveland star defensive end asked, "Not even Dr. Seuss. It doesn't get more abstract than what we've gone through." Garrett's referring to the fact that the team lost their starter, Deshaun Watson, to injury and has been juggling through a slew of quarterbacks while continuing to win games. And somehow, Joe Flacco has seemingly come back from the dead like a phoenix rising from the ashes to take a stranglehold of the starting role. And he's not just managing these games. He's out there gunslinging like he did back in his heyday for the Baltimore Ravens. In 3 games, Flacco has thrown for a combined 939 yards, 7 touchdowns, and 5 interceptions. Meanwhile, he has a 2-1 record as a starter. What Flacco's doing is only further building his polarizing legacy. In the history of football, no quarterback has ever been criticized and ridiculed throughout the vast majority of their career while maintaining a high level of success as Joe Flacco. Literally none. You don't believe us? That's probably because you continue to underrate Flacco as well. And we're here to explain why Flacco has been overlooked and explain to you guys why this guy is deserving of Hall of Fame induction. Let's get right into it. In 2008, Joe Flacco was drafted in the first round by the Baltimore Ravens out of the University of Delaware. As a rookie, he made the playoffs and then won 2 games, leading his team to the AFC Championship game. He became the first ever quarterback to win 2 playoff games as a rookie. Flacco continued to win games at a torrid pace in the early stages of his NFL career, though he was criticized for his good but unspectacular play. In his first 3 seasons, Joe Flacco tied the legendary Dan Marino as the all-time NFL leader by recording 36 regular season and playoff games combined. Since then, Russell Wilson has broken that record. Flacco also led the Ravens to the playoffs in each of his first 5 seasons in the league and won at least 1 playoff game in each of those seasons. To this day, he is the only quarterback in NFL history to win a playoff game in each of his first 5 seasons in the league. And in his 5th year, while still being doubted by media and fans league-wide, he came in and put together arguably the greatest playoffs of any quarterback in NFL history. We're not exaggerating. Flacco's 2012 playoffs was statistically better than any postseason that Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Drew Brees, or Aaron Rodgers ever played in their entire careers. We're not saying Flacco's as good as any of those guys, but he still deserves an immense amount of props for what he did for Baltimore in 2012. That postseason, Flacco threw for 1,140 yards, 11 touchdowns, and no interceptions. He had a QB rating over 100 in each of his 4 starts that playoffs, the first quarterback to ever do so in NFL history. His 1,140 yards ranks 4th highest in NFL history. His 11 touchdowns are tied for the most ever in a playoffs with Joe Montana, Kurt Warner, and Patrick Mahomes. But Montana was the only other quarterback to throw 11 touchdowns with 0 interceptions. He made a historical play in the AFC Championship game when his 70-yard Hail Mary pass to Jacoby Jones won his team with less than 45 seconds to go. And then his 287 yards and 3 touchdowns in the Super Bowl, giving his team a 34-31 victory. The hot streak was beyond legendary, and Joe Flacco earned the Super Bowl MVP award for his efforts. After winning his Super Bowl, Flacco remained the Ravens starter through 2018, but only made the playoffs 1 more time in 2014, in which his team lost in the second round. By the time Flacco was done in Baltimore, he achieved legendary status with the franchise. He basically holds every passing record in Baltimore Ravens franchise history, and he never made it to the playoffs without winning at least 1 playoff game. His consistency and ability to step up his play come playoff time is truly elite. During his time in Baltimore, he posted a regular season record of 96-67, along with a 10-5 playoff record. Say what you want about Flacco, the guy has accumulated a truckload of wins throughout his career. He currently has 101 wins in his career. That ranks him 18th of all time. No quarterback outside of ones that are recently retired have won more games and weren't inducted into the Hall of Fame. In terms of passing yards, he ranks 19th all-time after passing Dan Fouts against the Bears. No quarterback in NFL history has thrown for more yards and won a Super Bowl without getting inducted into the Hall of Fame. In terms of passing touchdowns, he just tied Len Dawson for 30th all-time. Similarly, no quarterback in NFL history with more passing touchdowns has won a Super Bowl and hasn't been inducted into Canton. And his playoff numbers are even better. His playoff win total of 10 ranks him 12th all-time. No quarterback in NFL history has won more playoff games and isn't a Hall of Famer. And the only quarterbacks in NFL history with more playoff wins and a higher playoff winning percentage is a list that includes Tom Brady, Joe Montana, Terry Bradshaw, John Elway, Patrick Mahomes, and Roger Staubach. A short list of some of the most historical legends the game has ever seen. So taking all these numbers into consideration, one has to ask why Flacco isn't considered elite. Why isn't he considered a surefire Hall of Famer when everything we've mentioned indicates that he should be? Well, there are two stats that Flacco ranks extremely poorly and that negatively impacts his quarterback rating in comparison to other greats. And those stats are his yards per completion and yards per attempt. His 6.7 yards per pass attempt ranked 155th all-time, and his yards per completion of 10.9 ranks even lower at 194. Those metrics have kept him out of Pro Bowls and have negatively weighted his quarterback rating and passer rating. Those analytic metrics are constantly considered heavily when evaluating a quarterback's greatness, but is that really fair? We definitely don't think so. Sure, Flacco isn't a top 10 quarterback of all time, we get that, but 36 quarterbacks are currently in the Hall of Fame, and there are more surefires in the ranks. Anyone who doubts Flacco's greatness is digging too deep. He's one of the greatest winners to ever play in the league, and he's proven to play his best football when it matters most. If he can continue to win for the Browns, it won't be long before the league starts to take notice and finally give this man the respect he deserves. If Flacco can win a playoff game this season, it'll tie him with legends such as Aaron Rodgers, Roger Staubach, and Troy Aikman. If he throws 104 yards in a playoff game, he'll pass Steve Young. And if he can throw 530 in 2 games, he'll pass Donovan McNabb as the only non-Hall of Famer that ranks higher than him in the category. 2 passing touchdowns will tie the great John Elway's mark. We could keep on going, but you get the point. The truth is, no one in the league has as much to gain with 1 or 2 strong postseason performances right now than Joe Flacco. The man is elite and deserves some respect on his name. But what do you guys think? Is Flacco worthy of a Hall of Fame bid, or is he just no more than the luckiest quarterback in history that's only been elevated because of the strong defenses that he's had the opportunity to team with? And how much should his playoff numbers impact his nomination in comparison to his regular season stats? Let us know what you guys think in the comments section, and please don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more sports news and insights. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.